So let's talk about something that drives a lot of us crazy. Why is it that some people just seem to build wealth effortlessly, while others, earning the exact same salary, are constantly struggling? Well, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. It's not about some complex strategy or a lucky stock pick. It's actually about a few simple, almost minimalist rules that can totally transform your financial life. Let's dive in.
Okay, let's kick this off with a question that might hit a little too close to home. Think about it. You got a raise, right? Your income went up this past year. But when you check your bank account, somehow there's less money in there than there was a year ago. How does that even happen? It's baffling.
And this is where it gets really frustrating. On one side, there's you, working your tail off, but your savings are actually going backward. Meanwhile, there's someone else, a friend, a coworker, with the exact same salary, who's sitting on a huge pile of savings and has absolutely zero debt. What are they doing that you aren't?
Well, here's the thing. It's not what you think. It's not some exclusive club, or a complicated app that costs a fortune, or getting a hot stock tip from a guy who knows a guy. Nope. The difference, the real difference, comes down to a handful of simple, powerful rules that separate the people who build wealth from those who just earn a paycheck.
All right, let's get into the first and, honestly, maybe the most important rule of them all. You have got to put a stop to lifestyle creep. This one idea is probably the single biggest thing standing between you and real financial freedom.
So what is it? People call it lifestyle inflation, but I think of it as the invisible wealth destroyer. It's that sneaky, automatic habit where as soon as you start making more money, you start spending more money. You get that raise, and suddenly you're thinking, I deserve a nicer car, or a bigger apartment, or a few more streaming services. And poof, that extra income is gone before you even had a chance to save it.
So here is the golden rule to fight back. Every single time your income goes up, you save at least half of that increase. And here's the key, you have to do it before you even see it, you automate it. Set up an automatic transfer for the day your paycheck hits. That psychology here is just bulletproof. You can't possibly miss money that never even made it into your spending account.
Okay, that brings us to rule number 2. And this one is all about completely changing the way you think about buying things. It's time to totally rethink what cheap and expensive actually mean.
So, instead of just staring at the price tag, you're going to start calculating something called cost per use. This little piece of math shows you the true cost of something. It's super simple. Just take the price of the item and divide it by how many times you think you'll actually use it. This one shift can change everything about how you shop. I mean, just look at this example. It's wild. That cheap shirt that feels like a bargain, it falls apart after 5 wears, so it's costing you 240 rupees every time you put it on. Now look at the quality shirt. Yeah, it costs more up front, but it lasts. Its true cost is only 40 rupees per wear. When you do the math, the cheap shirt is actually 6 times more expensive.
And this is the big takeaway for this rule. Our brains are wired to hate that initial sticker shock, that short-term pain of a higher price. But if you can just push past that feeling and do the simple cost-per-use math, you'll see that buying quality, durable stuff is almost always the smarter, cheaper choice in the long run.
All right, let's talk about rule number 3. This is a super practical, dead simple trick to help you defeat one of the greatest enemies of your savings account, the impulse buy. We've all been there.
It's called the 24-hour rule, and it's brilliant because it's so easy. Here's how it works. You see something you want, something that isn't an absolute necessity. Instead of clicking Buy Now, you just save it. Bookmark the link, take a screenshot, whatever. Then you force yourself to wait 1 full day. That's it. Just wait 24 hours. And here's the magic. Why does this work so well? Because, get this, about 90% of the time, after those 24 hours have passed, that intense, I have to have it now feeling is just gone. It evaporates. That little pause gives your logical brain the time it needs to catch up to your emotional, impulsive brain.
Okay, on to rule number 4. Now this one is a bit of a paradox. It's all about gaining more control by having less stuff to manage. It's about creating financial peace by ruthlessly simplifying your entire system.
Just look at the difference here. On the left, you've got financial chaos, a tangled web of different accounts, credit cards, investment apps. It's confusing, it's stressful, and it's impossible to track. On the right, you've got elegant simplicity. And that clarity, that is where you find control.
In fact, you could run your entire financial life with just these 3 things. Seriously, 1 checking account for all your spending, 1 high-yield savings account for all your saving and investing, and 1 good credit card that you treat like a debit card and, this is non-negotiable, pay off in full every single month.
That's the whole system. If you can't explain your finances in 3 minutes, it's way too complicated.
All right, our fifth and final rule might be the one you'd least expect to find in a talk about money. It has nothing to do with your bank account and everything to do with your brain. It's about the quality of your rest.
Now, it's really important to know there's a huge difference between passive rest and active rest. Passive rest is collapsing on the couch and just endlessly scrolling on your phone. You're not resting, you're just numbing your brain and draining your mental energy. That exhaustion leads directly to bad decisions like impulse shopping online. Active rest, like taking a walk, reading a book, or cooking a meal, that's what actually recharges your battery.
And here's the bottom line. Making good financial choices takes willpower. It takes mental energy. And when you are properly, truly rested, when your mental battery is full, you make patient, rational decisions. When you're drained and exhausted, you make impulsive, emotional ones. The quality of your sleep literally impacts the size of your bank account.
So at the end of the day, it really all comes down to this one question. Are these 5 rules just some interesting ideas you heard about? Or are you going to treat them like a real system to actually live by? Because the answer to that question is what makes all the difference.
Look, someday is a trap. It's the place where good intentions go to die. It never, ever arrives. The only day you have any real control over is today. So don't wait. Just pick one of these rules, any one that feels easiest, and just start. Start today.